Anambra State government, through the Ministry of Women and Social Welfare, intervened in a case of widow Marachi Anako, who faced opposition from her in-law intending to bury their husband in a forest. Following Amarachi's complaint, a resolution was reached during a meeting involving both families and Kingsmen. The Anako's family was given 7 days to schedule the burial of late Chike Anako, despite initial rejection by the representative of the Anako's family. The ministry, with the support Ogwasebo Kindred, has set November 10, 2023 as the burial date. Commissioner Ife Obinabo condemns the injustice, emphasizing that the Osoludo's administration opposed such behavior and urged parties involved to embrace peace or face legal consequences. Dr. Weke, this is coming from Anambra State. I mean, it is not a new thing, burying people in the forest. Yes, we know that there is no state without a cemetery. But at this point that it has become a state concern, what is your position on this?
If government is saying that dead individuals should not be buried in the forest, and the idea of burying anybody in the forest is derived from the culture. I think it's derived from the culture. Otherwise, we will not be talking about forest with the ground. Designated place to bury people. So, but in this case, it all seems that probably there's something attached to the man's death and in line with their culture, the culture of, there might not be, that kind of license, freedom to begin to cultivate or harvest crops around there. So if government has need for it, so why do you go there to bury people when there is a designated place to bury the dead?
Now, there is one thing that they say is very strong that African holds very dear, which is culture. So if this is one of the culture of Anambra State, that so whatsoever thing that happened, such person has to be buried in the forest, and then the government come up to say, no, we need this thing, or it has to stop. How do they review this? Don't you think there will be consequences?
The point is that I think there is dispute here. A lady and somewhat. Is it that the lady doesn't want the husband buried in the forest? There's established text here.
The burial date has already been fixed.
Yes.
The place for the burial has already been is known.
Yeah.
But because of some issues now, the federal government has, it's no longer family issue, it's now both state and family. So what do they do?
The family had planned to bury the man in the bush.
Yes.
Buried.
Yes.
Probably in your compound.
Definitely.
If truly the gods are still there, we are respecting the gods of the land, right? If the gods are still there and government has ordered that the man be buried where his other kinsmen possibly were buried, and let the gods call the governor on telephone and then tell him that, look, what you have done is a taboo and we'll come to visit you. Or probably send some kind of messages. You know the way it happens now, that the gods of our land are angry. Let it reach government house. And then government house will now call the chief priests, and they will gather and begin to summon, seek for ways to appease the gods of the land. So we hope to see that situation arise, and all of this will be put to rest.
All right, let's wait for the gods, like my guest said. Maybe they're just going to call on phone. But let's look at our next story for today. Pedestrians in Ibafo, Obafemi, Owoda local government area of Ogun State expressed dissatisfaction with motorcyclists consistently avoiding the designated footbridge. A footbridge constructed for the convenience of the pedestrians and persons living with disability is being neglected by motorcyclists who choose to use the highway instead. The pedestrians who spoke with journalists on Thursday lamented the commercial motorcyclists, dispatch riders, police and military men with their private motorbike would use the wheelchair ramp part of the pedestrian bridge to speed up their movement. It was alleged the cyclists exchange words with them whenever they are confronted, and that their moments provoked the pedestrians using the footbridge who protested at the sound of their honk. Our correspondent who visited the Ibafor pedestrian bridge observed that both private and commercial motorcyclists alongside their passengers used the bridge to cross to the other lane of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Cyclists were seen struggling with pedestrians who used the narrow foot passage over the highway. This is really a sad one, and it's something that we can all come to terms with. I mean, you will see cyclists, this is not just about commercial, but private. They will leave the route. It's just like when you were walking on the road, you're walking, I mean, that is one way. You will not bother to check the both sides because you know that the vehicle is supposed to come just from the front. And imagine a vehicle coming behind, and then, I mean, it's quite dangerous. I'm sure you can relate with this. So what do you think the government needs to do? Because the government needs to do something.
It depends on who is committing the offense. Nigeria is not like other countries where you don't even need to persuade citizens to obey the common rules. Here, in this case, what we are looking at is who for the pedestrian, who are they, in most cases, brandishing a ID card as a senior police officer or junior police officer or navy officer or air force. Because I've wondered, the thing you usually bring the ID card showing you this, and then the next is okay. Are you get what I'm saying? So who qualifies to offend? You see that the person that doesn't have an ID card to show, the person that probably cannot immediately pay the bribe. So we have a very chaotic country when it comes to implementation of our laws. In other countries, you don't dare it. In some normal countries have had experiences with. You don't have to offend the law. You don't have to harm the law because you are a certain place person in the society. So why did I bring in this? In most cases, the people that use the bike are uniform people. Is to enforce it. Do you understand? Enforceability is a problem here. So if they are colleagues, so it will be very difficult. The followers from where they were extracted from are not doing well, right? So if now the government has the citizens will now say, okay, this is what the rule is here. We have to follow this path. I am not supposed to encroach into this path. You'll see that we won't have any reason to discuss this. But even if you now say, let's bring the toughest military to come and man that speak the same language, you can it's a business card, it's a complimentary card around here. Do you understand it? So which one are you talking about? Which one are we going to include? So if you now see the whole scenario of obedience to rule in Nigeria, you see that the implementation method is very faulty. The implementers are in themselves not disciplined, and those who are supposed to also that are supposed to obey the law are not also disciplined. You see the way we operate. It's only around here because we don't even have the culture. It's around here that you see somebody drop any peel, drop any debris on the way. It is a big man. There is people they call big men in Nigeria. Somebody wants
danger. And now looking at our next story today on mother, the Nigerian Police Force Taraba State Command has verified the dismiss of Basi Saduna, a secondary school teacher who was fatally attacked by students in Jalingo on Wednesday. Confirming the incident on Thursday, the command spokesperson Abdullahi Usman said the deceased was a staff of Model Secondary School Jalingo. According to him, the primary suspect, whom he described as an ex-student of the school, conspired with his friend in the school and started.
We're in a colossal mess. You understand? Nigeria is in a situation of noise, of all manner of cultural demise. and the other person, because cultists don't operate in solo. That's why you're saying he was also